Tokyo had been mopping the sterile corridors of the Imperial Nexus for 3 standard months when everything changed. The space station, a gleaming monument to the Zephyrian Empire's power, stretched across 17 sectors of controlled space. She was nobody, just another human worker among thousands, invisible to the elite alien species that governed half the known galaxy. The Zephyrians were magnificent beings, tall and crystalline, their bodies refracting light in ways that hurt human eyes. They had conquered Earth 50 years ago, not with violence but with technology so advanced it made resistance meaningless. Humans were given a choice: integrate as a lower caste or remain on their dying planet. Most chose survival. Tokyo chose the Nexus because it paid better than Earthside work. At 24, she sent most of her credits home to her younger brother. The work was monotonous but stable. She mopped floors, cleaned viewing ports, and tried not to make eye contact with anyone important. That changed on the night of the Emperor's arrival. The entire station had been in chaos for weeks. Preparing for Emperor Zalthor and his heir, Tokyo had been assigned to the Royal Wing, an honor, her supervisor said, though it just meant longer hours and stricter protocols. She'd been scrubbing the same section of hallway for an hour when she heard it. A sound unlike anything she'd experienced before. A wailing, high-pitched and desperate, that seemed to vibrate through the crystalline walls themselves. Tokyo froze, her mop dripping forgotten onto the pristine floor. The sound grew louder. Doors hissed open at the corridor's end and a procession emerged. 6 Zephyrian attendants moved in formation, their faceted faces reflecting panic, an emotion Tokyo hadn't known they could express. In the center, one of them carried a small bundle that writhed and screamed. The Imperial heir, Tokyo realized. Prince Velkai, barely 6 months old by Zephyrian standards. Nothing works, one attendant said in standard, their voice like wind chimes in a storm. The physicians find nothing wrong. He simply won't stop. Tokyo pressed herself against the wall, trying to become invisible. But as the procession passed, the bundle shifted. The crying paused for 1 heartbeat, then 2. A tiny crystalline hand emerged, reaching toward Tokyo. The attendant stopped. "You," the lead attendant said, their multifaceted eyes focusing on Tokyo. "Come here." Tokyo's heart hammered. I'm just a cleaner, Your Grace." "Approach. Now." She abandoned her mop and moved forward on shaking legs. The attendant holding the prince turned, and Tokyo saw him clearly for the first time. Prince Velkai was smaller than she'd expected, his crystalline form still soft and translucent, catching the light like a prism, his eyes deeper and more complex than any human's locked onto hers. The crying stopped completely. "Hold out your arms," the lead attendant commanded. "I couldn't possibly." "Do it!" Tokyo extended her arms, and the attendant transferred the prince into them. The moment Velkai settled against her chest, he made a sound, a soft musical hum. His tiny body relaxed, and within seconds his eyes began to close. The attendant stared in disbelief. "What is your name?" the lead attendant demanded. "Tokyo, Your Grace. You will come with us." That was 3 weeks ago. Now, Tokyo stood in quarters larger than her entire childhood home, wearing robes that cost more than a year's salary, holding a sleeping alien prince. Her life had become surreal. The Emperor himself had summoned her, his towering form radiating power that made her knees weak. "You are aware," Emperor Zalthor had said, his voice resonating through her bones, "that my son has never slept more than 1 hour at a time. Your species is fragile, primitive, yet you accomplish what our greatest physicians cannot. Explain." Tokyo had no explanation. "I don't know, Your Majesty. Maybe he just needs warmth. Humans are warm-blooded. Your people are crystalline. Maybe it's something primal?" The Emperor had studied her for a long moment. "You will remain with him. Name your price." Tokyo had asked for her brother's medical debts to be cleared and a scholarship to the engineering academy. The Emperor had agreed without hesitation. Rio, her supervisor and the only friend she'd made on the Nexus, visited when he could. He was a human engineer, rare enough to have some mobility in the station's hierarchy. "This is insane," Rio said, watching Tokyo rock the prince. "Do you know what people are saying? That you've bewitched him, that humans are using some kind of biological warfare." Tokyo sighed. "I'm just holding a baby, Rio. An alien baby, the heir to an empire. Rio ran his hand through his dark hair. The Zephyrian nobles are furious. They think it's humiliating that the prince prefers a human. There are rumors of assassination attempts against you. The emperor has guards. Tokyo, listen to me. Rio knelt beside her chair. This is bigger than you realize. For 50 years, humans have been nothing. Worker drones expendable. But now the imperial heir won't sleep without one of us. It's symbolic. It means something. Tokyo looked down at Velkai, his crystalline form rising and falling with soft breaths. He was just a baby. Alien, yes, but still a baby who needed comfort. What if it's not about species at all? She said softly. What if he just needed someone to care, and everyone was too busy with protocol to notice? Rio's expression softened. Maybe, but intention doesn't matter when it comes to politics. He was right, Tokyo knew. Already human workers approached her differently. Some with hope in their eyes, others with fear. She'd become a symbol without meaning to. A bridge between species built on nothing more than an infant's need for warmth. The door chimed. A crystalline attendant entered and bowed. Tokyo-san, the emperor requests your presence in the throne room. Bring Prince Velkai. Rio squeezed her shoulder. Be careful. Tokyo stood, the prince secure in her arms, and followed the attendant. The corridors seemed longer than usual, each step carrying more weight. When the throne room doors opened, she saw not just the emperor, but dozens of Zephyrian nobles, their crystalline forms creating a rainbow of reflected light. And at the center, a human delegation from Earth. Emperor Zalthor spoke, his voice carrying across the vast chamber. For 50 years, we have ruled humanity because we believed ourselves superior. Today, my son teaches us differently. Tokyo of Earth has shown that value lies not in technology or power, but in something far simpler. He paused. Compassion. The word hung in the air like a revelation. Henceforth, the emperor continued, humanity's status within the empire is elevated. Tokyo will serve as ambassador between our peoples. And her brother. He gestured to the delegation, where Tokyo saw a familiar face in shock. I will study at the Imperial Academy as the first human scholar. Tokyo's eyes filled with tears. In her arms, Prince Velkai stirred, reaching up to touch her face with one crystalline hand. She had been just a girl mopping floors. Now she held the future in her arms, and maybe, just maybe, the hope for her entire species. The universe had changed because a baby needed to sleep. And sometimes, Tokyo thought, that was enough.